people like me. You need people like me so you can point your f***ing fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
The undisputed super featherweight champion of the world, Alicia, the Baumgardner.
That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy.
Okay, we'll start with this. A bit of good news that was announced this past weekend on the undercard of Taylor versus Cameron. It's official. Alicia Baumgardner will be taking on Christina Linardatou for the second time. Many years after their initial meeting, a lot has happened. Alicia is a champion now, an undisputed champion, and she is a more evolved fighter than she was when Christina first fought her in what was a battle of the unbeatens in Louisville, Kentucky. She's going to show her everything she's learned. If the people at Matchroom are smart, they will revisit that fight and acquaint the boxing community at large with what happened. Alicia had a choice between fighting Christina again or fighting Erica Cruz, former WBA featherweight champion. And here, I think she made the right choice. Her and Christina have unfinished business. Immediately after the Mikaela Mayer fight, I think a lot of people made the mistake of thinking that Alicia's options were limited to a Mayer rematch moving forward. I told you that the world was her oyster, that a lot of doors are going to open, not exclusive to fighting Mikaela again, which could still happen. On the undercard of this show, set to go down in July on the 15th, you're going to see Richardson Hitchens versus Montana Love. Montana's coming off that loss to Stevie Sparks. They didn't run it back. Also on that undercard, you're going to see Olympic amateur standout from Cuba, Andy Cruz, Matchroom's most recent acquisition. They matched him against Burgos. That's tough matchmaking, if I do say so myself, matching him against a guy like that in his professional debut. I think sometimes Matchroom has a habit of pushing their up-and-comers and their guys they're invested in a little bit too hard. I think we saw a bit of that this weekend when Gary Cully... He got fucked up. That Felix guy fucked him up real good. I think the referee gave Gary Cully every opportunity to recover and try to regain his composure, but, he lost that fight. Andy Cruz has to be careful because of Juan Carlos Burgos. While he may not have the talent, the ceiling, the amateur background that Andy has, he's got pro experience, and the pros, they really do have a way of separating the men from the boys, the amateurs from the pros, as they were. As they say. Alicia is headlining. I remember some of the Mayer supporters, at least one in particular, was scoffing at Alicia Baumgardner. He didn't like the decision. He thought Mikaela won. And that's fine, but he was actually scoffing that Alicia's very next fight right after that was on an undercard, that she wasn't yet headlining her own show. Well, how do you like them apples? She is now. Opposite the ring, an old enemy, an arch rival. Christina Linardatou, the hard-punching, athletic, capable Christina Linardatou, the two-time WBO super lightweight champion. Years after their initial meeting, Christina's 35 now, whereas Alicia is a very spry 29. She's 5-6 years younger than Christina. Beyond this fight, should Alicia win, and I think she can, I think she will, she's got options. She has the option of facing the winner of Pursoon versus Bomire Shin. She's got that option, and maybe she pursues an Amanda Serrano fight. Amanda campaigns one division south of where Alicia is. Amanda's down there at 126, Alicia's at 130, or maybe Alicia pursues the winner of Taylor versus Cameron too, at lightweight. Got options. That's what I told you. That's what I told you after the fight. She's not limited to just boxing Mikaela Mayer for the second time. It's Mikaela who's facing a scarcity of options. She better hang tight, find something to do. I've already discussed the styles of the fighters, how Christina Linardatou, she's a pressure fighter. Pressure fighters, they don't change much in between fights, whereas Alicia, she's a pure boxer, or a cross between a pure boxer and a boxer puncher. Though mostly pure boxer. Mostly. But when Alicia's having it all her way, she's controlling the tempo of the fight, and it's a slow fight, only throwing 1 or 2 shots at a time from the outside. Till she lands something hard. Till she gets the other girl hurt. And once she's got the other girl hurt, then she'll go in for the kill. She smells blood. What allows Alicia to toggle between being a pure boxer and a boxer puncher is her power. You know, not every pure boxer packs a big punch like she does, and that allows her to assert herself in spots and take chances in spots because she's got that power. She knows if she lands big, she can hurt the other girl, whereas pure boxers, textbook pure boxers, they're not always big punchers. So not all of them can take the chances that she does. That's what allows her to toggle between the two base styles. And power in and of itself, it's not necessarily taught. It certainly isn't a skill. It's not an applied science. Power is one of those things to where either you got it or you don't. You can improve upon it and sharpen it, but in order for you to do that, you have to have it in the first place, and not everybody does. Most pure boxers don't because they fight on the balls of their feet during a fight, staying on the perimeter of the ring. They don't sit on their punches the way a puncher would. She can because she's got it. She's got power. It's the most opportune time to exact vengeance on Christina Linardatou because it's been several years since their initial meeting. She's an older woman and a less active fighter than she used to be. That in tandem with the styles of the fighters and everything that Alicia has learned over time, I feel she should secure the victory here. It's a homecoming fight for Alicia, so you want to be careful. Those homecoming fights don't always go according to plan. Katie's didn't this weekend. Alicia should not look past Christina Linardatou. She needs to take this fight serious, perhaps even more serious than she took the Mayer fight, because Christina's not in unfamiliar territory. She beat her before. She knows what she's up against. If Alicia has improved over time, she's got to show it. Show it in the ring. It's going to be a good fight. Look for this, July the 15th. On DAZN. We'll talk more about the fight as the fight date approaches. In men's lightweight news, the boos are still pouring in after this weekend's contest, this weekend's robbery. Veteran trainer turned commentator Teddy Atlas wants Judge Moretti to appear before Nevada State Athletic Commission to explain the scoring in Haney versus Loma. Adding to the controversy, Moretti scored the 10th round for Haney, a round that was widely viewed as one of the best rounds of the fight for Lomachenko. In that round, Lomachenko landed 11 of 49 punches while Haney... It's a robbery is what it is. 11 of 49 punches while Haney only connected with 5 punches out of 25. So not only was Lomachenko throwing more than Haney in that round, he was landing more. And Moretti gave it to Haney, you say? What did he do, fill out his card in the parking lot before the fight? He must have. Atlas wants Moretti to appear before the Nevada State Athletic Commission to explain why he scored the 10th round for Haney. I can live with the 2 scorecards, I guess, but not the 116-112. Someone told me that Dave Moretti gave the 10th round to Haney. If that's true, he should be brought in front of the commission to explain, Atlas stated. And Teddy's no stranger to flying off the handle and disagreeing with the judges. You remember his reaction to the Golovkin versus Canelo fight, the first one, the Pacquiao versus Horn fight. He let his feelings be known and his presence felt. He continued, if the Nevada Commission doesn't call Moretti in and make him explain giving the 10th round to Haney, then we should start a petition to disband them. I need to see if it's taxpayers' money that runs Nevada. If so, then citizens really need to stand up. Haney and his handlers have made it clear that there won't be a rematch for Lomachenko. Of course not. Now cue the guys in the comments saying that it wasn't a robbery and you could have scored it either way. It was a close fight. All those cookie-cutter comments that these days are a cliche. Don't convince anybody. This fight's outcome is getting all the wrong attention for Devin Haney. If you can believe this, movie star and martial arts master Jean-Claude Van Damme, he was actually watching the fight. And you want to know what he had to say about it?
This JCVD, 11 years of difference. This guy tonight lost. Abdulillah lost. And the other guy, Lomachenko, win. It's that simple. Here's the audience, the crowd from the USA. Love it, and you have 3 USA judges. I know boxing and martial art, and he lost. God bless. Thank you.
Is this what normally happens when a guy wins a fight? Emphatically, is this what normally happens? Is this what a guy should expect when he wins a fight in decisive fashion? You know, the way that Devin Haney supporters say he won. Or is this what happens when somebody gets robbed in the sport of boxing? Do you really want a movie star, a guy with 7.3 million people following him on Instagram, telling those 7.3 million people that you robbed the other guy? Is this supposed to be good for Haney's stock? Because I see a lot of people saying that a villain was born, that Devin is stepping into the role of Floyd Mayweather. I'm going to tell you something about Floyd because I grew up in the Floyd Mayweather era. I saw all of his fights.
All of them.
And this is not that.
Everything you guys know about Floyd Mayweather or claim to know you found out on YouTube or BoxRec.
You weren't there. I was. I watched those fights, and I can tell you, this ain't that. This is not Devin stepping into the role of Money May. For starters, Money May, Floyd, whatever you want to call him, he had a lot to choose from. A lot of fighters that had fan bases of their own that lended themselves to the marquee value of a show, a marquee value of a fight, like Juan Manuel Marquez and Miguel Cotto.
They had followings.
Those fighters had bigger followings then than these young guys have here and now. And those fighters' followings lended themselves to the buy rate of those shows, of those pay-per-views. You guys must be under the impression that Floyd sold those pay-per-views by himself.
He didn't.
Marquez had a following amongst the Mexican fans, as did Canelo, Cotto amongst the Puerto Rican fans.
Devin doesn't have here today as much to choose from as Floyd did.
And forgive me for saying so, but after Floyd fought Cotto,
Yeah.
or Marquez,
Yeah.
or Robert Guerrero, Canelo Alvarez, I mean, you name it, people weren't screaming robbery.
Now, wait a minute. They were screaming robbery after the Castillo fight and the Maidana fight. But you know what Floyd did? You know what he did?
What?
He ran it back with those guys. He fought them again to beat them more decisively. Whereas Devin has already let it be known there ain't going to be no Lomachenko rematch. So let's quit with the tenuous associations to Floyd Mayweather. He ain't Floyd.
Because if Floyd were in Devin's shoes here today, what we'd be looking at is a rematch in the fall or winter months. Devin's not Floyd.
Floyd understood that you can't let stuff like this fester. You have to run it back. It affects people's perception of you and your marquee value moving forward. You can't leave that unfinished business unfinished. Devin, however, and his father, they want to make off like bandits.
Too many people calling this a robbery. It's getting Devin all the wrong attention. Those 7.2 or 3 million people that follow Jean-Claude Van Damme, what do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to rewatch the fight and score it themselves? No, they're going to take him at his word.
You think they're going to pay their hard-earned dollars to watch Devin fight, knowing that the other guy might get robbed?
They're not. Not in this economy.
All they need to know is that a lot of people seem to think that Devin robbed the other guy. Some of these folks following this story aren't really even boxing fans or fans that follow the sport as closely as I or you, but they know what they need to know.
Now you're going to tell me, quit your crying, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
What?
I make money whether Vasyl Lomachenko wins or loses, you understand. I don't get more money if the decision comes out when Loma's in.
Or Devin's.
So if I cover the reactions that this fight's outcome is getting, the controversy and how many people are calling it a robbery, I'm just addressing what's in the news like I always do. You just don't like it because it doesn't align with the gaslighting.
You guys is disingenuous boxing takes.
I made my money already.
Just don't get it.
I've seen some of the arguments made by some of you out there in the comment section of my last two videos claiming that I'm emotionally compromised based on Vasyl Lomachenko losing when I don't get extra money for him winning.
I did make my money already.
It's you guys that seem compromised because most of the boxing world and some high-profile individuals outside of it don't agree with what you're saying. Their opinions don't align with yours, whether we're talking about pros,
Nope.
pundits,
Nah.
or celebrities.
Take a poll if you don't believe me. By all means, I did.
The results are coming back the same almost unanimously by way of two major social media platforms, and those votes, they're coming in hot.
How bad does the robbery have to be that Jean-Claude Van Damme is telling his 7.2 million followers that was a robbery?
How bad? How bad does it have to be that Devin Haney's own countrymen and compatriots are saying that he robbed Vasyl Lomachenko, that he's getting booed in his own town?
How bad?
You're disingenuous and not morally upright. You just want to be right.
So you endorse the robbery?
Don't get mad at me for calling a spade a spade. I'm just saying what everybody else is thinking. The vast majority.
You don't know how to score a fight.
Then what are you worried about what I think for?
You're so hung up on my opinion.
You came here. Don't forget that.
Drumming up my metrics.
Because I don't know how to score a fight, right? And I'm biased.
What are you listening to me for?
If I apply those criticisms to all the individuals out there that feel the same way that I do, you know what happens?
What?
It don't hold up. It don't hold up the scrutiny.
Like the judges' scorecards.
What do you expect me to say?
Loma's manager, Klimas, says, I guarantee we're gonna appeal that decision. Being robbed is not acceptable.
You, the listener, may feel that we're covering this story ad nauseum, but what do you want me to do?
Just covering this story like I cover any other story. Any relevant story in the sport of boxing.
I'm just going to say it like it is. Klimas said during a post-fight press conference, this is the biggest robbery in the middle of the day for Haney's team. Christmas came in the summer. and we're not going to let it go. I guarantee we're going to protest. I guarantee we're going to appeal that decision because somebody needs to end this injustice. Somebody needs boxing to be put in the place where it has to be. And it has to be a justice because those judges, when they're scoring a completely insane score, they do not understand how those fighters are working hard to get into that place, to get to the fight, and then being robbed like that. It's not acceptable, and I guarantee we're not going to let it go. We're going to go all the way to the end to appeal and to maybe we're not going to win.
They're not.
The last time I remember a robbery this big has to be the first Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin fight, at least the reaction. This reaction to this fight is akin to that one.
Been a lot of robberies since then.
And not a single decision among them was ever overturned.
However inexplicable it may have been at the time.
Klimas continued, maybe it's going to be as it is. Most likely, it's going to be that. But we want to show there has to be justice. Klimas revealed that he tried to have Moretti removed from the pool of potential judges for the fight. He was told, presumably by the Nevada State Athletic Commission's executive director, Jeff Mullen, that Moretti is one of the best quote-unquote judges that the Nevada Commission assigns to his fights. Moretti scored Haney, a wider winner than Cheatham.
Moretti's the genius that scored that round, a 10-10 round, in the Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia fight. The round where Gervonta Davis scored that knockdown.
He scored that a 10-10 round for some reason. He drew criticism for that. He drew even more for this.
But nothing's going to happen. The decision's not going to be overturned.
You'd have to be born yesterday or some kind of wide-eyed optimist to think anything's going to come of this. Anything's going to come from Egis Klimas's protests.
I'm a promoter. I'm not a judge. But, everybody around me scored. All the fans around me who were neutral thought it was a pretty one-sided fight for Lomachenko. So everybody was stunned when the judges' scorecards were read. I'm not going to comment myself because I'm the promoter, and that would be wrong.
There seems to be a video circulating of Bob Arum whispering to Vasyl Lomachenko that he felt he won the fight. Not only he felt he won the fight, he felt he won it easy. I don't know what to make of that because it seems to me like the fix was in.
If you're Vasyl Lomachenko, you don't know who to trust in a situation like that.
Somebody fixed the fight. Somebody paid to have it done. It's just a question of who fixed it because the judges scored it, but somebody
paid him to.
Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to happen. The decision will remain.
The fallout will continue to pour in.
It's bad optics for Devin Haney, but it's also bad optics for Top Rank.
It's bad.
They're potential customers. Anybody that wants to take in a boxing match, why would they want to after that?
Too much heartache.
It's hard to be a boxing fan sometimes, and this seems to be one of those times.
If Chantel Cameron can get a fair shake from the judges in Dublin, in Ireland, in what was Katie Taylor's big homecoming fight, if Chantel Cameron can get a fair shake, why couldn't Vasyl Lomachenko?
That fight was closer than this one. That fight was more competitive than this one.
Vasyl Lomachenko was kicking this kid's ass.
Wasn't a tale of two halves. Devin Haney didn't rally back in the second half the same way that Katie Taylor did in her fight.
It was supposed to be a great weekend of action, marred by controversy.